This is Kosh, and this over here is Juno, and they are personal exploration rovers. And they were developed by the Create Lab in around 2003 to be deployed to science centers and children's museums around the country to Mars terrain yards where children could send them on missions through an interface. They're modeled after Spirit and Opportunity. They have the same rocker bogie suspension and mock solar panels on them, and they're very animated. But Spirit and Opportunity have expensive, complicated sensors on them. These guys just have little black lights. So they would go up to a rock and they could examine the rock for signs of life. If the rover turns its little black light on and dots show up, they've found signs of life. And the dots are just UV sensitive paint. So it's kind of a simplified representation of the type of sensors that the real Mars rovers have. The exhibitions were great because they taught kids about robotic missions specifically. We've always learned about human space flight, astronauts, man on the moon, but the PERS were they really emphasized the robotics and the robot's role in space exploration and brought it to a level that young children can understand and be inspired by. These guys are not space rated at all. They have rubber tires and RC car batteries, pretty basic computer system, a webcam, and a decal for solar panels. They're terrestrial models of, or even prototypes of, what we can do with rovers. Well, the Create Labs robots are primarily educational. So the PERS in particular had the two core purposes of first educating children in museums about robotic exploration and then to be a development platform. I like them a lot because I am still a novice programmer and even I can make them do stuff. So I like that aspect. They're really easy to work with, even for people that aren't expert robotics programmers. So a lot of the basic functionality, which is actually pretty difficult, is already taken care of. This robot serves as for us. It serves as a development platform. So we're able, for example, these are being used for UI development right now. So instead of taking up all of the real rover's time with UI development and having, just trying to develop a system at the same time you're integrating it with a pretty complicated rover. These rovers are they have a really comprehensive code library, so a lot of the basic functionality is already programmed into them, which enables developers to spend time developing new tasks and functions for the robot on top of basic things like go forward, take a picture. Because of that, they're really good development platforms for other as stand-ins for other robots. So hopefully we'll be able to acquire more of them and use them for different rover subsystems like um, obstacle avoidance, path planning, SLAM. You know, basically just being literal platforms for sensor rigs or a power system. You put a little solar array on its back and work on power management algorithms. So they have a lot of potential uses in this project. It's similar to Red Rover in a lot of ways in terms of its purpose as basically a prospecting rover. Red Rover will explore the lunar terrain. These guys explored Mars-like sandboxes in a museum. These are probably the cutest robots I've ever worked with. Um, well, they were designed to interact with children, but even for 20 somethings and adults, they're really adorable. Their movements are very animated, and when one of them is wandering around with people around, It'll go up to someone, and I've never had anyone not say hi to it when it stops right in front of them and looks up. Humans tend to attribute human qualities to inanimate objects, but since these things are actually very animated, they're personable. So have also been used in some psychology projects, one of which was to analyze young children's perception of what was alive and what was not. There's another one where a purr was programmed to work alongside human rescuers and navigate a disaster area and identify human victims. Yeah, I kind of want to start referring to these as RCRs instead of purrs. RCR for ridiculously cute robot.